The whole student loan debt thing is solved. We now live in a time in which information is abundant and easily available. Now, this takes some getting used to for older generations, even myself. There are now hundreds of universities which, combined, offer tens of thousands of 100% online courses. Even the Federal Emergency Management Agency offers over 150 free online courses on their government-run website. In this day and age, it is incredibly easy for any idiot such as myself to sit on the couch and make a really good online course. There are even a lot of companies that offer digital templates, and all one has to do is basically fill in the blank. According to an article by Skilled Labs, an online course can cost anywhere from $5,850 to over $15,000. Now, a college course is obviously more lengthy, so I asked my friend Nick Zdanovich, who manages a department of computer programmers for a company in Ukraine, how much it would cost to make an online college course. He was probably reluctant to give me a number because he said it depends on so many factors. But after I pressed him on the matter, he threw out that it might cost anywhere between $150,000 to $500,000. Now, my tuition was $50,000. I have a friend who claims his tuition was $500,000. My tax payment in 2022 is supposed to be around $30,000. Do you get the joke? The point we're making here is that either way, the issue of how do we pay for a degree for tens of thousands of people in the United States can be solved by the Department of Education offering a college course or college courses. And the cost of making a college course, which can be made available to tens of thousands of people, is equivalent to the cost of one person's tuition or one person's tax payment. Me, this guy, talking into a microphone, can pay to create one college course. The Department of Education has a $68 billion budget, but has anyone ever asked how many college courses they offer? That, my friends, is a goose egg. Zero. Now, in the Department of Education's defense, they were made before the internet. They're stuck in their old ways. So, what does the Department of Education do with our $68 billion? Well, they service our student loans. We literally pay them to take our money. Let that sink in. Now, to be fair, this plan eliminates future student loan debt. It doesn't do anything for past student loan debt. But since we won't be creating more student loan debt, we can start chipping away at the old debt. So it's more manageable. But we can't stay ahead of past student loan debt if each year we keep creating new student loan debt. I went to college for Homeland Security Management, and FEMA offers over 150 online courses. This is a department responsible for handling disasters. But they have time to create courses? Now, my college was accredited by the Department of Education, but I received part of my grade for logging into FEMA's website and taking one of FEMA's free online classes. Then, taking my test results from FEMA back to my college, where my college would give me credit for it. So every year, FEMA educates thousands of people, but the Department of Education doesn't educate a single person. So quick recap. I pay the Department of Education. The Department of Education accredits my school. I pay my school, and my school sends me back to the government to take courses which the government would not accredit. Then, I take my grades from the government class that I took back to the school where they give me a degree. Now, here are some of the common problems that people have with the Department of Education offering online courses. The Department of Education can't put out a program to be a doctor or a pilot. Okay, then don't. But subjects change. The Department of Education can't possibly put out subjects that see frequent dramatic changes. Alright. But some people do want to pay too much for a university with a prestigious name, and their parents can afford it. Okay, rich people can go to whatever school they want. that doesn't change. Next question. Well, some schools are a mixture of multiple choice tests and hands-on material. In my degree program, 70% of my grade was computer-based multiple choice testing. Class participation was only 5% of my grade. How are schools getting away with that? They should be 100% hands-on. I agree, universities that offer physical courses need to adjust to the times in order to stay relevant. But that's their problem, not ours. They're running an education business. Why should I care how they make their money? So the objection is really this. Wait, Jonathan, this can't work because schools will need to start offering relevant services to paying customers, rather than just running a monopoly in which they know people are forced to participate. Bingo! That's their problem. I have to make my business relevant in the changing world. They should have to do the same. But the Department of Education doesn't have the resources. The Department of Education has about 4,400 employees and $68 billion. But they don't have the time. Wait, you're saying the Department of Education can't afford the time to eliminate student loan debt in the future because they're too busy preparing to handle next year's student loan debt? They'll need fewer people working on next year's student loans if there aren't next year's student loans. They can even keep the same number of employees, just move people around. Another common objection I get to this is, but it's not fair. I paid for college. Everyone else should too. That doesn't even deserve addressing. But they can't handle a large number of students. Right now, I can make a lecture about picking my nose and have it seen by 1 billion people on the internet. Not only that, 70% of my grade in college was multiple choice tests. And I actually went to a physical school for that. Even FEMA, a department with no education experience and no reason or no pressure to reduce student loan debt, makes online courses. If you're still against the Department of Education running an online degree program, can we at least agree to one class on something that doesn't change, like math? Allowing students to transfer at least one class to their university would put some dent in student loan debt. If you really want to use college to lift minority or low-income groups out of poverty, we can do it with a snap of the fingers. If the combined intelligence of everyone working at the Department of Education isn't enough to create at least one online course, then maybe start with accrediting the courses that the government has already put out, like the FEMA ones I mentioned. Or maybe each government department could put their heads together and come up with something altogether. For example, a finance department could put together an accounting course. The government's agricultural department could put together an agricultural science course. A legal department could put together a law course. But look, the jig is up and the people are going to figure it out sooner or later. We know that the government has the knowledge to make college courses. We know that they have the staff. We know that they have the time. And we know that they have the budget. The Biden administration recently has been under a lot of criticism for not doing anything about the student loan debt. Well, this could be their saving grace. The only barrier to this is literally mindset, people just being stuck in their old ways. Offering online courses is actually quite simple in execution. The hardest part is saying yes, so let's do it. Galileo was once put on trial for believing that the earth revolved around the sun. He knew that his accusers wouldn't have an argument if they just agreed to look through his telescope. So I'm asking you to look through the telescope. Consider that if you do this, history would record you and your party as rock stars. Not to mention it would help hundreds of thousands of people.